Have you ever stopped to consider how much of what you see online is actually you? Not you, the person, but a reflection of your past choices, your clicks, your likes, your shares? In 1960, a man named Eli Pariser coined a term that would become increasingly relevant in our digital age: filter bubbles. He wasn't talking about soap bubbles or anything quite so whimsical. He was talking about something far more insidious, something that shapes our understanding of the world, often without us even realizing it. Imagine this. Two people, let's call them Sarah and John. They both live in the same city, roughly the same age, but they hold very different political views. Sarah is a staunch liberal, while John leans heavily conservative. Now, imagine they both type the exact same phrase into a search engine, let's say climate change solutions. What do you think will happen? Will they see the same results? The answer increasingly is a resounding no. Sarah, based on her past online activity, the articles she's read, the pages she's liked, the people she follows, will likely be presented with a cascade of information reinforcing her existing beliefs. She'll see articles about the urgency of the climate crisis, the success of renewable energy, the pronouncements of scientists she already trusts. John, on the other hand, with his own unique digital footprint, might see articles questioning the severity of climate change, highlighting the economic costs of environmental regulations, or promoting the views of contrarian scientists. This isn't a coincidence. This is the filter bubble in action. It's the personalized, curated universe of information that each of us inhabits online, created by algorithms designed to keep us engaged. And while that might sound appealing, who wouldn't want a world tailored to their preferences? The consequences can be profound. These algorithms, the invisible architects of our online reality, operate on a simple principle. Give people more of what they seem to like. They analyze your every click, every pause, every scroll, learning your preferences with an almost unsettling degree of accuracy. This data is then used to predict what you'll want to see next, creating a feedback loop that constantly reinforces your existing views. Now, this is where confirmation bias comes into play. Confirmation bias is a fundamental aspect of human psychology. It's our tendency to seek out, interpret, favor, and recall information that confirms or supports our prior beliefs or values. It's a natural human inclination, a shortcut our brains take to make sense of the overwhelming amount of information we encounter every day. We're drawn to information that feels comfortable, that validates our worldview, that tells us we're right. The problem is, filter bubbles exploit this inherent bias. They amplify it, turning it into a powerful force that can distort our perception of reality. By constantly feeding us information that aligns with our existing beliefs, they make it harder and harder to encounter dissenting viewpoints. We become trapped in an echo chamber, surrounded by voices that echo our own, reinforcing our convictions and making us increasingly resistant to alternative perspectives. Think about your own social media feeds. How often do you see posts that genuinely challenge your beliefs? How often do you encounter arguments that force you to reconsider your position? For many of us, the answer is not very often. Our feeds are carefully curated, not just by us, but by the algorithms that control what we see. This has significant implications, not just for our personal understanding of the world, but for society as a whole. Consider the political landscape. In a world of filter bubbles, it becomes increasingly difficult to have constructive dialogue across ideological divides. We become entrenched in our own positions, demonizing those who disagree with us, and losing the ability to empathize or even understand opposing viewpoints. The spread of misinformation, or fake news, is another critical consequence. Filter bubbles make it easier for false or misleading information to spread rapidly, as people are more likely to believe and share information that confirms their existing beliefs, regardless of its veracity. This can have devastating consequences, influencing everything from public health decisions to election outcomes. Let's look at a concrete example. During the 2016 United States presidential election, Facebook, now Meta, was heavily criticized for its role in spreading misinformation. Studies showed that fake news stories, often highly partisan and inflammatory, were widely shared within filter bubbles, reaching millions of users and potentially influencing their voting decisions. The algorithms, designed to maximize engagement, prioritized sensational and emotionally charged content, even if it was demonstrably false. Twitter, now X, faces similar challenges. The platform's reliance on hashtags and trending topics can create echo chambers, where users are primarily exposed to information and opinions that align with their own. This can lead to the rapid spread of misinformation and the amplification of extremist views. Even Google, the seemingly neutral arbiter of information, is not immune. Its search algorithms personalize results based on your past search history, location, and other data, meaning that two people searching for the same term can receive vastly different results. This personalization, while intended to improve the user experience, can inadvertently create filter bubbles, limiting exposure to diverse perspectives. So, what's the responsibility of these tech giants? This is a complex ethical question. On one hand, they argue that they're simply giving people what they want, providing a personalized experience that caters to individual preferences. On the other hand, critics argue that they have a moral obligation to ensure that users are exposed to a diversity of viewpoints and that they're not contributing to the spread of misinformation. Many experts believe that these platforms need to be more transparent about how their algorithms work. They need to give users more control over their data and allow them to see how their online activity is shaping the information they receive. Some have even called for regulation, arguing that these platforms are so powerful that they need to be held accountable for their impact on society. But it's not just about the tech companies. We, as individuals, also have a responsibility to break free from our filter bubbles. It requires conscious effort, a willingness to step outside our comfort zones and engage with perspectives that challenge our beliefs. How can you do this? One simple step is to actively seek out diverse sources of information. Don't just rely on your social media feeds or your usual news outlets. Make an effort to read articles, watch videos, and listen to podcasts from a variety of perspectives, even those you disagree with. Another strategy is to be mindful of your own biases. Recognize that you are naturally drawn to information that confirms your existing beliefs. Be critical of the information you consume, questioning its sources and looking for evidence to support or refute its claims. Engage in respectful dialogue with people who hold different views. Try to understand their perspectives, even if you don't agree with them. This doesn't mean you have to change your mind, but it does mean being open to the possibility that you might be wrong, or that there might be more than one valid way of looking at an issue. You can also use tools and techniques to deliberately diversify your online experience. Some browsers offer privacy settings that limit tracking and personalization. There are also news aggregators and websites that are specifically designed to present a wider range of viewpoints. The future of information is uncertain. Technology is constantly evolving, and the way we consume information is likely to continue to change. But one thing is clear: the challenges of filter bubbles and confirmation bias are not going away. They are fundamental aspects of the digital age, and we need to be aware of them and actively work to mitigate their negative effects. This isn't just about being a more informed citizen or a more critical thinker. It's about preserving our ability to have meaningful conversations, to understand each other, and to build a more tolerant and inclusive society. It's about recognizing that the world is complex and multifaceted, and that no single perspective holds all the answers. The algorithms that shape our online world are powerful, but they are not all powerful. We have the agency to choose what we consume, to question what we see, and to seek out diverse perspectives. The challenge is to use that agency wisely, to break free from the echo chambers, and to engage with the world in all its complexity and richness. It's a constant effort, a continuous process of questioning, learning, and growing, and it's a process that is essential, not just for our individual well-being, but for the health of our democracy and the future of our society. Are you ready to take a look at your own online habits and see where your filter bubble might be leading you? The journey to a broader perspective starts with a single conscious click.